What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pickles House. This is a very special episode. This is our first episode in our brand new studio, everybody. Grimace Studios, shout out. Appreciate you. This is a very exciting episode for me, too. I have a good friend in from town, my good buddy A.J.Bell, everybody.
Hey, how you guys doing? Happy to be here.
Yeah.
This is nice. I like what you guys got going on.
I appreciate you, man. This is I love it too, man. I'm so happy right now.
This is the comfiest chair I've sat in a podcast.
I actually got those from a lawyer's office. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to the lawyer's office. Thanks for letting them go.
Hey, there we go.
What's up, my brother? How you been?
I've been good, man. Like you said, I've been out in Boston, and it's been less racist than I thought it'd be. Like, it's been an awesome time. It's been amazing.
That's what's up.
It's still racist, but they're good at hiding it, so I appreciate that.
That's awesome, bro. They respect the racism. They do it behind your back.
Yeah, no, they keep it to certain parts of town.
Okay. You just stay away from those parts of town? Or you go to them just to fuck with them?
I got to let them know we're still here.
That's right. Yeah. I'm here, bitch. I'm in Boston. New Orleans is in the house. You know?
Yeah, I'll wear the same running gear they wear, but I'll just walk.
Yeah. All right, so what we do here is we get to know the person that I bring on, bro. And you're one of my favorite people in our comedy scene. A.J.Bell has been a big inspiration to me, even when I was really shitty and I wasn't funny. You know what I mean? He was one of those people who reached out and was like, keep doing it, man. You are funny. You just got to get to that seasoned part of you, you know, and I really appreciate that, dude. So let's start off. When you were younger, how was it growing up? Let's tell the people, where you from? First.
So I was born in Metairie, but I still claim that's right.
Born in Metairie.
Born in Metairie, and I moved around a lot when I was a kid. So like we lived pretty much everywhere. We lived in Metairie, Kenner, Ninth Ward, Seventh Ward, downtown, uptown. We lived kind of everywhere from what I remember.
A New Orleans mutt.
Pretty much. But never anywhere long enough to remember what the area was like until we settled on the West Bank. And
okay.
That's pretty much where I kind of grew up in my formative years. So.
West Bank, baby.
West Bank, hey. You both from the West Bank, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Marrero. Hey, cruising down the street. Pick it real slow.
Look at that yelling.
Marrero. That's what's up, man. So what age did you move to the West Bank?
I want to say around maybe 9 or 10.
9 or 10?
Yeah, probably earlier than that. My childhood is a mess. Like, I barely remember that shit. I think my mind's blocking out all the trauma.
Growing up on the West Bank, you could definitely get a bunch of trauma, dude. Yeah, bro. What school did you go to?
I went to Ellen Difford Middle School. That's when I moved to the West Bank. I went to Ellen Difford Middle School.
Okay, we rivals. I went to Marrero Middle.
Oh, you went to Marrero? Oh,
yeah.
Fuck you then. I can't believe I came to this. But fuck Ellen did too.
Yeah, fuck Ellen. Yeah. They beat us in football. I was pissed. I'm not gonna lie.
I tried out for the football team, and I'm like, this nigga's big.
I tried out the football team, got on, and it was horrible. You know, I was just like this big fat kid, and like they put me as nose guard, and I could barely do anything because I couldn't run. My coach used to run with me, going half a mile an hour around the yard. Hell yeah.
See, that's why I joined football, because we used to play flag football during PE.
Ooh, flag
and I was super fast.
Yeah.
And nobody could catch me. Like, whenever I got the ball, it was a touchdown. So I was like, I want to play football.
Nice.
But, you know, they can hit you in football.
Yeah. They're coming on full contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they ran faster when there was a promise of a hit with it. And I was
so did you do a lot of sports when you were young?
I did. I did a lot of sports. I wanted to do them, and my parents like made sure I did them. They were really like adamant about making sure I had different.
That's what's up. So what kind of sports did you play?
I think the first thing I got into was taekwondo.
Okay.
And I did that from the age of maybe 10 to 15, and I got my black belt and, you know, let that go.
Nice. I did judo and jiu-jitsu from around like 7 to 9, I think, or like 8 to 10, somewhere around there. Yeah. Got my yellow belt, and I was like, peace, bitches. I'm a fucking savage, you hear me?
See, it wasn't until I got my black belt in taekwondo that I realized, jiu-jitsu is where you learn to fight. Like, Brazilian jiu-jitsu is what you actually learn if you learn.
I really like judo, man. Judo is where the discipline's at.
They do a lot of throws in judo, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of grappling, a lot of like body control. You know, you make them lean your way and stuff. I like
Controlling the
judo.
flow of movement and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember watching the first UFC with Hoist Gracie and
Yeah,
shit.
with Gracie's, yeah.
Dude, like we all got together at the coach's house, and it was amazing to watch
Yeah.
that first UFC, dude. Ken Shamrock,
Oh,
you
bro.
know what I mean? Like it was a special fucking
When
thing.
there was no weight classes.
Right, you know what I mean? Like Hoist Gracie going up against like the polar bear or something like that, and just climbing them and putting them into a triangle choke. Hoist Gracie was my favorite for real.
Well, yeah, he was everybody's favorite. He showed what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can do.
Fuck yeah,
Like everybody.
he's the fucking man, dude.
Yeah, nah, that was some good stuff.
Yeah, it was.
And watching that, I was always kind of into like fighting and whatnot. I mean, it was sort of a recent development because when I
Yeah.
went to college is when I really got into it.
Okay.
But yeah, once I started getting into it,
I didn't know you had a black belt. That's amazing, dude. That's a lot of time and discipline and shit.
Yeah, I wanted to quit like many times. I was
Yeah.
like, this is some bullshit. I don't like working out. It's hard. My parents are like, we're not gonna let you quit. You said you wanted to do this. You said
So
you
your
wanted to work out."
your parents kind of forced you into it.
They didn't force me into it. They instilled a sense of like, finishing what you're starting in.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and I
That's what's
appreciate
up.
that.
And
I'm
that's
glad I
good.
did it.
Dude, I had a buddy who was like one of the best in the country, judo jiu-jitsu. He was a
Yeah.
brown belt, but his dad like pushed him and pushed him, pushed. I mean, he could have been an Olympic champion. You know what I mean? Like he had that fucking skill, but his dad pushed him so hard, he was like, man, fuck this shit. I don't want to do it, you know?
Yeah, no, my parents were really good about that balance of like, we want you to do what you want to do,
Yeah.
and we're gonna make sure you see it through to the end. But we're not gonna, force you to do something you absolutely hate. And
Yeah.
yeah, my parents were good about that, and I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. What other sports?
Oh, yeah, I was just about to get into that. So after Taekwondo, I started dabbling with track, football, and basketball, like all at the same time.
Okay.
So like the seasons for all three were like kind of consecutive. So I think it was like track first, then football came around, or it was football first, then track, and then basketball came around.
Okay.
But
What was
I
your
would-
favorite?
My favorite, probably, I would say probably basketball.
Basketball is your favorite? Is that what you excelled at more?
No, it just hurt the less. Like nobody's hitting me, and I'm not out of breath like all the time, and my legs not hurt. Like okay,
Yeah.
it's fine. Like I'll do this.
Okay.
But yeah, sports really weren't for me. I was more of a creative type because I
Okay.
was the type of kid that like we'd play a game and we'd lose, and all the other kids are like upset and they're crying. And it's like you don't get to go to like the upper levels.
Right.
But I go home and it's like I'm fine. I get to go home and draw and stuff, and I'll write.
Okay.
And read.
That's what's up.
And yeah, they used to get mad at me. It's like, yo, we just lost. What you like happy about? And it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go home and draw.
Yeah, why not, man? Be creative. That's what's up. So you always been creative?
Yeah, I was always a creative type, and I think it's something my mom noticed in me more than my dad.
Okay.
Because my dad's a sports guy.
Just to let y'all know, A.J. Bell is one of the funniest comedians in the scene that I came up with. I love it.
And
Yeah.
Pickle loves exaggerating.
No, he is. He definitely is.
Well, no, now you're one of the funniest ones. I saw you go from, starting out to like in force in the scene now. Like, bro,
Dude, it's
you're one of the
fucking-
ones making it happen.
Like, you got to, bro. You got to get up. I got a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gotta figure this
We were
shit
just
out.
talking about that.
Yeah.
There's no bigger motivator than a kid.
It is not, bro. You know, and it's true what they say. Like when you first hold your kid, bro, you really find out what true love is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was looking at him. I was like, man, I am such an asshole to my dad. My mom. Like I am a prick. Like it's an unfair love. Like
Yeah.
you can't tell a child no. Your child, you can't tell them no. You know what I mean? You can tell your other kids, your other friends' kids no. You know easily. You know, but when it comes to your kid, it is a different thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly why I'm waiting.
Yeah, you
'Cause I know
should.
my kid's just gonna make a bitch out of me. It's just like I know I'm gonna love you too much to say anything.
Yeah, we about to get it popping off in this scene too.
Yeah,
Wait a
bro.
little while.
And
Just-
you're one of the ones making it happen, bro.
I'm trying, man. But you helping me right now make it happen. This is the shit, right? So what else were you into with the basketball? Like, how long did you do sports?
I did them for a couple of years. Once I left middle school, I kind of got out of it, and once I got to high school, it was more.
What were your grades like in school?
So here's the thing, I was actually a pretty smart kid.
Yeah.
In sixth grade, I focused purely on, grades and whatnot,
Yeah.
and I made all A's sixth grade.
Nice.
Like I passed sixth grade flying colors, and then seventh and eighth grade came around, and that's when the hormones kicked in.
Yeah.
And I didn't give a fuck about grades. And
Yeah,
I was
they
just
do.
like,
Look.
all right, how can I get one of these girls? And, and I passed high school flying colors too.
Really?
But I failed 7th and 8th grade just because hormones got to me. It was like,
It happened. Yeah,
Okay,
look,
I was-
6th grade it came to me, bro. 6th grade is when I started acting out.
Yeah.
You know, I picked certain classes that I wasn't good in and stuff, and I was like, all right, these are the classes I'm gonna just fuck around in.
Right.
Ended up fucking going to what's that, summer school for the first time in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7th grade,
But I
maybe.
was actually really an AB student. You know what I mean? But I just started. Why is I didn't like school, certain subjects, history and shit like that,
Yeah.
reading and fucking. I hated reading. You know, I
well,
would
my
just,
personal philosophy is school isn't a very good measure of intelligence. Like,
it's not.
It's really
You know, you really find out where you're at later on in life.
yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
when you mature into yourself and start throwing your mind against other people's minds, you start to
Yeah.
see about where you are.
Yeah, especially in like the creative realm that we are in.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Very
When you're
much.
around a bunch of creative minds, you're just like throwing ideas at each other and bouncing them off.
When you see
And-
what response get you where you are, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, and you be really and getting on stage, I became the person who I was like meant to be.
Yeah.
You know, it really does make you find yourself.
Yeah, really.
Because if you don't, you can't get on stage. If you don't know, because the audience can tell. You know what I'm saying? If you're not authentic enough, the audience will tell that shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you're trying to be something, they'll pick up on it.
Fuck yeah.
And they'll let you know that you're not that.
Right, right.
Because when I came into the scene, when I first came in, I came into the scene with like nothing to lose. So I was like, I'm gonna be me times 10. Like, and I was out here just on stage saying everything that I felt was in my heart.
Yeah.
It wasn't until later that I toned it down and focused more on the structure of jokes and the craft of comedy.
Yeah, it takes a little while to figure that out.
Yeah, 'cause
So
once
like,
you come down from that initial high of I'm doing comedy, then it's like, okay, I'm doing comedy. Let's figure this
I
out.
still see new comics coming in, and it's like so funny to watch them. You know what I mean? The first time on stage, recording themselves and
Yeah.
shit. I'm a comic now. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I remember when I had that get up and go, that spunk about it.
Right.
Now I'm so jaded.
No, I didn't have that much spunk after the first time I bombed, bro. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, you want to tell people about that? Well,
That was the second time I was on stage. The first time I did all right. You know, it was in 12 Mile, and it was like they made it supportive in the room, and I did okay, you know.
Yeah.
The second time I tried to do the same shit at High Hole Lounge that I did at 12 Mile Limit, and it did not go well at all. Like, I was sweating up there, bro. You know, it did look. Another comic came on behind me
Yeah.
and used my one pickle punchline to a dick joke that he
Oh,
that he made about. I was like, oh man, fuck. Yeah. Made a whole dick joke about my one punchline that I had in 3 minutes. This is bullshit.
oh, bro, I hated that when I had bombed and somebody come up and use that one joke, that one good laugh I had.
Yeah,
And just,
I didn't even get a laugh from it. He did. I didn't get a laugh at all. It
oh,
was
that's
horrible.
even worse. Right?
I
They
was
take your
sweating.
jokes and just make them better.
Yeah, my girl was in the room too.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I was like, this is bullshit.
Got comedy cucked, bro? No.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember one time I was at Dragon's Den,
Yeah.
and
I love Dragon's Den, by the way.
Dragon's Den is awesome, hosted by Vincent Zambon, a cool person.
Hell yeah.
I was at Dragon's Den, and I was on the show, and everybody was doing well. I was like fourth or something, and the first two people go, and then the third person gets on stage, and I'm with my girl. Like, we're literally standing up. She's in front of me, and like we're hugged up, and she's hard to like make laugh. But this
Okay.
guy gets on stage, and she's like cackling and bent over and just like laughing and hollering. And I'm just like, I'm gonna fuck this dude up after he gets on stage.
Yeah. Make my girl laugh.
Yeah. You don't
That's
make
my
girl
job,
laugh.
you piece of shit.
He murdered that room.
Yeah.
To this day, I haven't seen somebody kill as hard as that dude did.
You know who it was? You remember?
No, but we're Facebook friends. I can find him. Like, I can scroll through and find his face. But
Nah, fuck him.
no, fuck him. He's not getting
Made
no
my
more
girl laugh.
publicity.
Fuck that guy.
But I had to follow him, and I was so inside my head about how good he just did
Yeah.
that I tried to like ride one of his jokes that was just like all of his punchlines were just perfect and they hit the right way. And I tried to ride one of his punchlines, and just failed. It fell flat.
Oh man, I hate that shit,
And
bro.
then the rest of my set just was not that good. I still got laughs out of it
Yeah.
because
You know what happened? Where that happened to me at?
Where?
That, you know, in Atlanta at Laughing Skull, bro.
I was there when
You
that
were
happened.
there, bro. I had one of my worst bombs ever in Atlanta. That's a fucked up bomb whenever you bomb in another state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're in Atlanta too. Like I wear the Saints hat. They already hate
Yeah.
me. They already hate me. That tension between people from Atlanta and New Orleans, that Saints Atlanta Falcons rivalry is real. Like I really felt it.
Yeah.
I was walking with Lauren Knight, one of the one of the bigger comics over there at
But
Atlanta.
you had the recent thing with
Yeah, with T.I.
With
I was walking with her, and I had a Drew Brees shirt on, and the comics are like looking at it like, who the fuck are you walking with a fucking Drew Brees jersey on, you crazy girl? And she's like, y'all finna stop it, motherfuckers. This is Pickle. He's from New Orleans. Yeah.
Oh, you showed him who you were. That second time, you redeemed yourself, though, from what I heard.
No, I didn't redeem myself at all the second time. The first one I did good.
Oh,
She saw
okay.
me, Lauren saw me do good, but it's that one that night I went with you,
Yeah.
and I fucking just bombed. That dude from fucking Florida went up there, and he destroys the fucking room. And I followed him. I tried to follow him and hit up top with a fucking joke because he was talking about, it was during Ida. This was during Ida, so I went on the road to Atlanta, and I ended up hitting Laughing Skull before AJ. We had both the same fucking thing on our minds, you know what I mean?
And we didn't even know we were there. Like, I didn't know you were there.
Yeah, I didn't know you were there. I just posted I'm at the Laughing Skull, and everybody starts hitting me up. You hit me up, Michelle hit me up.
I'm like, what the fuck you doing in Atlanta? You didn't tell me, motherfucker.
Bitch, I'm out here, motherfucker. I'm on the road, bro. And I did well that night. Not well enough to actually, I tried to use that video and get a booking in Detroit recently, and it just, the beginning of it and the end of it didn't fall right, so I got to cut that bitch down.
Bro, here's the thing.
But Atlanta, I fucking bombed so hard that second show, bro. I'm still feeling that bitch. A good bomb, you'll feel that motherfucker till you get to go back and redeem yourself.
Seriously.
Yeah,
A good bomb will bring your ass back to comedy.
that bomb was so fucking bad that I hit up old boy recently. I was like, hey man, can I come redeem myself? And he never texted me back yet. He never texted me back, dude. I was like, fuck.
I've been in that position.
Yeah. He never texted me back, dude.
That's the polite response. That's
Yeah.
the polite response.
Well, I was trying to get another comic in, and he texts back for that part. And when I mentioned, I'm available to come back and try, he never hit me back. It's been over a month now. So I was like, fuck, man.
Bro, believe me, I still have a bunch of like 15 unreads.
Yeah, bro.
For people.
But you killed that room. It was great to watch you do that.
Yeah, I hesitate to say I killed anything, but
No, you
Laughing
did.
Skull felt amazing. Both sets I had.
It's a great room.
Yeah, it really is. You guys
Shout
are
out
ever
to
in
Laughing
Atlanta,
Skull.
Go
in
to Atlanta. It's hosted by Bob
Place.
Okay,
Bob
Bob Place. And,
Bob motherfucking Place. That boy's a beast.
ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. Once you get tired of T.I., go check out Bob.
Nah, T.I. is not a comic.
Nah.
Have you seen? How you feel about that?
So, I'm okay with people like trying out comedy. My issue is that he said it's not a hard thing, and for
Right.
him, it's not hard. It's not hard for you to get an audience because you already have one, bro.
Right, but it's hard it's obviously hard for him to make them laugh.
Yeah, clearly.
He's
It's-
telling fucked up jokes like fucking people's moms and shit like
Right.
that. Like, bitch, that ain't funny. That's fucked up. You
Yeah.
fucking your friend's mom.
I mean, it can be funny, but it's like he's just saying, "I'll fuck my friend's mom." I'm just like, bro, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up, dude. You can't. This is
His
not.
most recent stuff was kind of funny, but yeah, that
Really?
one, yeah.
What's his most recent stuff about? I didn't
listened to
watch
it.
it. I stopped paying attention. I feel like he should go in the dark and prepare.
Yeah, no, I think he did. I mean, I don't know what happened, but he came out with like some better jokes. The crowd was more receptive. I think he might have been in New York or Texas. I can't remember.
I will
but-
right. No, in New York, he fucking bombed.
Okay, he bombed
He
in New York.
bombed
He
in
went
New
somewhere
York.
else and like did.
They booed him in New York.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He needs to go. I feel like he should step back and go in the dark and actually utilize Atlanta's scene because Atlanta has a great scene, dude.
Right.
They got a great
They do, and he could have
bunch
been a
of
part
great
of the scene. If he
comics.
came in with some humility, he could have brought in
Yeah.
his, like done it in a better. If I had his clout, and I was trying to do comedy,
Yeah.
I would try to,
What he doesn't understand, it's not fucking rap, dude. Like we just recently had some big comics come through our scene, and we're respectable about this shit. Like they would be like, put your cameras down, and we're gonna do some comedy, and we do that here. If a big comic comes through and they usually ask the crowd to like put the camera down, I'm working on stuff. They'll put the camera down here. That's why I love our scene because that's what we're trying to come to the light now. We are coming to the light now, but
Yes, and-
it's like we're the comedy underground. So it's like getting ready in the dark. And now we ready to kind of step out and do our thing, but we let other people do that. And I think T.I. Atlanta scene would let him do that too.
Yeah.
You know, especially with everybody. I know he's a superstar, but if he said, "Hey, put your phone down," instead of like embracing what like being recorded,
Yeah.
put your phone down and let me get ready. You know what I
That's you're
mean?
saying, yeah.
And let me prepare some shit so whenever I take this to the big stage, I'm actually funny.
Right. But that requires a respect for the craft, which I don't think he really had.
He hasn't. Yeah, I don't think he's gained that yet. That boo should have gave it to him, but he like was like, oh, I liked it. You know, no. What comic likes a boo like a stadium booed you, son?
Yeah,
A
bro.
fucking stadium, dog. You know,
Like, bro, I perform in bars. I've never been booed.
that shit makes me feel weird just thinking about a stadium booing me. You know,
Bro, I think that's a lot of people's worst nightmare. And, you know, I see why he said it's not easy, because the hardest part for a lot of people, public speaking is like one of the biggest fears in this country,
yeah.
in the world. And
And he
getting
doesn't
on
have
stage-
that. He just, and that's the problem. Is his tongue's not tame. He ain't cut his teeth right.
Yeah, because he's used to being on stage in the context of rap.
Right.
So, like, he's used to being in front of an audience. He can just talk or whatever, and he's already made a name for himself. So he
Right.
can get on stage and just talk, because he's T.I.
Right. I mean, rap is you put your words together one way. Because I do a little rapping sometimes, just playing around. I grew up, you know, off the porch, rapping and shit. But I find like this is a different way of taming your tongue. You know what I mean? Every word that comes out your mouth on this stage in comedy counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that it really makes a writer out of you.
Yeah.
Because comedy
Definitely.
is way more writing heavy than music. Because
Yeah.
Doug Stanhope, who's one of my favorite comedians, has a great joke about it. He does a bit where he says like the same punchline that just got a big laugh. He says it like 5 times in a row, and people are just silent.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm trying to make a point about how
Right.
lazy writing and music is. I can't say the same shit over and over again, or
You
just
can't.
put it up in
If
one
you
place.
hear
and then
it-
people go get it. Yeah,
Right. You've heard my joke. It's not going to hit the same the second time.
exactly. But music does do that for you. So I can write one song,
Right.
and that'll be a popular song, and I can let that ride. I can't write one joke and then go out and just keep telling it over. You can, like in other places, but once it's recorded,
Right.
nobody wants to hear that shit no more.
So let's get back to you. Growing up, what was your first influence and creative influence? Maybe comedy? How about
Comedy-wise, I would say my dad,
your dad?
because my dad's probably the funniest person I know.
That's what's up.
Truly, he's truly funny. He's
That's
like
awesome.
the life of the party, and he's hilarious. But he also liked comedy too, so I got a lot of kings of comedy.
Okay.
So I got to see Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, because he's a barber, and I grew up in a barbershop too.
Nice.
So he had a little TV, and sometimes stand-up would be playing. So I remember sitting in the barbershop waiting for my haircut,
Hell yeah.
watching Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer and DL Hughes,
Yeah.
people like that.
Fuck yeah, man.
And,
I love Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac,
Bernie
yes.
Mac's one of my favorites.
One of my all-time favorites, yes. The kings of comedy are like, they have to be number one for me. Doug Stanhope's the biggest influence for me because he talked about the shit that I like to talk about. But the kings of comedy were like the funniest for me.
I love Stanhope, dog. We got a comic in our scene right now who kind of dresses like Stanhope.
Oh, you talking about old boy? I know you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking about. 'Cause I told him, yeah.
Yeah. He loves Stanhope too.
Was
Every
he a
time.
lawyer?
Him? Nah.
Okay, well, but he dresses like Stanhope, and I told him, and I think he appreciated it. I think he modeled specifically after
Yeah,
Stanhope, yeah.
he does. He loves Stanhope. Every time I see him, I think of you.
Yeah, he does the wacky suits and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's that's Stanhope style. I'm trying to develop my own, but definitely his subject matter and the way he approached it, I was a fan of.
Yeah.
So Stanhope was a big influence for me later in the game. My early influences were definitely the kings of comedy.
Excuse me.
But as I got older, I leaned more towards, political humor and shit. And just like,
I just
every
stopped.
joke I write now ends as, we need to overthrow the government. That's every joke that I
Yeah.
write now. Like, we need a violent revolution. That's every punchline of mine now.
That's what, for real.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what you've been doing, bro.
Oh.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, bro. I've been writing some shit.
So, how old were you whenever you started to hear comedy for the first time? Like the kings of comedy
So-
in the barbershop.
Ever since I was a little kid, some of my first memories are watching comedy, and I was always a fan of it.
Okay.
But like loosely, it was never something that was like, I seek out comedy.
Yeah.
Because I was a kid and I would seek out like cartoons and shit. But when comedy was on, I would pay attention.
Right. That's kind of what happened to me too. I used to watch WB and shit.
Yeah.
And one time they had the blue collar comedy special on, and I'm watching. I'm watching I'm watching Ron White, and I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Tater salad. I'm watching tater salad, dude.
Bro,
And I'm
Wright's
like,
a legend, yeah.
what the fuck is happening right now? My mind is blown as a child watching the WB. Blue collar, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
He gets done, the Jeff Foxworthy comes out, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? What changed?
Yeah.
You know, like, why is his comedy so different? I changed the channel.
Oh,
You
Jeff
know,
Foxworthy?
I changed the channel. I changed the channel off of Jeff Foxworthy. I watched it for a second, but you can only hear so many redneck jokes, bro.
Oh, yeah, you know you're a redneck.
I was a child. I was like, I don't know any rednecks. I don't know.
I swear to God, Larry the Cable Guy was like, I was obsessed with him for a good bit.
I never really
Like a
liked
year.
his bit either, bro. It was good. At
Loved him.
first, it was funny. You know what I mean? And then you find out that's not really who he is.
Yeah.
You know?
Once I found out it was a character, it did kind of diminish it, but I was still like, that's
Right.
fucking hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny that Get Her Done. It was funny at first, you know. But once you hear it 20,000 times from everybody in the world, you're like, all right, let's fucking get past this shit. Please, world. You know, let's get past it. I'm tired
Oh,
of
no, we
hearing it.
definitely did. We definitely dropped
Yeah.
that real hard in
Yeah.
comedy. And then moved on.
But yeah, the same thing, bro. Ron White was
But
like
no,
my
still,
first.
almost respect to them. Like,
Yeah, they did their thing. It's amazing what they did. You
Yeah,
know,
it
Jeff
really is.
Foxworthy, it's amazing what he did. You know, he like cracked the code and fucking went all the way with it. You know, to like not knowing
he found
then.
the perfect formula.
Yeah, he did. He found that formula, bro, and that's what it is. When you find your formula, you work that bitch.
Yep. And
Like
that's
you churning butter, you know.
That's a lot of things people don't talk about in comedy. A lot of people who are the biggest ones, they found a formula, a system of writing that works with them. Because I recently analyzed a lot of comics I'm a fan of, like writing, like, you know, Bill Burr
Yeah.
and Mark Norman, and, you know, their writing. And I realized, like, their jokes kind of follow, even if it's differently structured, it follows a similar pattern
Yeah.
of thought.
Yeah.
Where they'll have jokes where they'll make a statement and then turn that statement on its head and then throw in exaggerations and then
Right.
three examples of that exaggeration.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I've seen that before. Like, okay, I see what you're doing. And once you recognize stuff like that, you start to incorporate it in your own jokes. So
Yeah.
when you have a premise, you're able to write multiple different styles of jokes with it and figure out which one you want to tell on stage. And
Yeah, most certainly, bro. They always say comics mimic their favorite comics at first, and
They
that's what
definitely do.
I kind of take from a lot of people too. You know, I love Hedgeberg, Mitch Hedgeberg.
Mitch Hedberg, yeah, he's
Dude, he fucking. I watched. He was like on late night one time. He did a 5-minute set, and got 49 laughs. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's an average of 10 laughs per minute.
Yeah.
That's a 10-second laugh ratio. Like, what the fuck, dude? And that's why I came up with like certain jokes that I come up with. You know what
every
I mean?
6 seconds he's getting a laugh.
Yeah, bro. I like one-word punchlines. You know what I'm saying? I do have my longer, drawn-out ones. You know.
Actually, yeah. Now that I'm thinking about your jokes and the ones I know, you do like those.
Dude,
those one-word punchlines.
I will fucking. I like to punch. I punch you to death. You know what I mean? I
You
will.
do love your punchlines to be like short, like 1 or 2 words.
Yeah,
as
and
the
that's.
punchline is.
I try to. You know, I was told to get to your first laugh within 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You do that, and you can do anything on the set. You know what I'm saying? And then end with a laugh. It's a structure. A lot of people they don't get that structure at first. I had to figure out that structure.
Yeah.
And when I did, it was on, bro. It was fucking on.
Taking
dude.
into consideration like people's short attention span and like your ability to capture the attention, because I've seen people's attention go away from me
Yeah.
on stage where I take too long to get to the point.
Yeah.
Like especially with introductions. I'm
I
like,
hate
hey,
that
how you
shit.
guys doing? What's up? Y'all doing good? What's up with this side? Y'all good? Y'all good? And people are just like, all right, we're done. Where's the jokes?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so I was walking in town, and by that time, people have their phones out. And it's like,
Right. I try to go up with that quick hitter from. I do try to let that person before me. I'll take whatever they did and try to throw it and like roll off of what they're doing. If they did well,
Yeah.
you know, even if they did bad, I can just go up there and get something off of it usually.
Yeah.
You know, or I'll just go into my set if somebody. If the energy is not right, it's good to know how to reset the energy in the room too.
That is an important skill.
Yeah.
Like knowing when you're on a downswing and what you can do to
Yeah.
sort of flip the audience.
You see me do that a lot. You know what I mean? I'll fucking say a joke and completely lose the audience and be like, all right, let's stand up to the challenge now.
Bro, there was a minute where I was only writing like contingency lines for jokes, where it was like, I need to go back in every joke I've written and write a contingency line.
Yeah.
Because once
You
you realize
need that shit.
Once you realize, like, you write a joke and you write your punchline thinking everybody's gonna laugh, right?
Yeah.
So in your head, everybody's laughing at this point, but people don't ask themselves, what if they don't laugh when they're writing?
Yeah.
So you have to write a line for that. Like if they're not laughing, what if this isn't funny?
Right.
Because you get up there and you're like, blah blah blah. Oh shit.
Yeah. Silence. That's not what I was banking on.
That'll make you forget your whole set too.
It
It's
will.
like, oh
It
fuck,
will.
you didn't laugh at that because I know nothing else is funnier than that.
Right.
So it's like, oh shit. So to write your jokes with the mindset of, what if they don't laugh at that?
Yeah.
That was a very important skill that I had to hone. Where it was like, okay, a contingency line where you recognize that this joke wasn't as funny as you intended it to be,
Right.
and that helped me save a lot of my sets.
What made you go towards pursuing comedy?
Nothing. I didn't. Don't do comedy. If you're listening to this, don't ever. If you're thinking about it, stop.
Yeah, that is good advice. That shit is it'll fuck with you.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, if you're hearing my voice, don't do comedy. But what made me do it was, like I said, when I was young, I was listening to the Kings of Comedy a lot, and I never wanted to do it because I heard an interview of Cat Williams talking about comedy. He's like, it's a hard thing to get away from once you get into it.
Yeah.
And not everybody makes it. So once you get into it, you're in it, and if you don't make it, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, don't want to do comedy. So I started focusing more on school. But after I got done with my college experience, a friend of mine started showing me like other comics outside of like, just the surface level things that I saw at
Yeah.
Comedy Central or HBO.
Because when you don't know, all you know is like the biggest comics out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? When you don't focus on it,
When you're a casual viewer, all you know is what's put in front of you from
right?
Comedy Central.
All you know
or
is Dave
whatever.
Chappelle.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. You watch the Chappelle Show, you watch Comedy Central Presents back then.
Right.
You watch an HBO special.
Cat Williams, like you said.
Exactly. But my friend put me on to people like Bill Hicks and George
Yeah.
Carlin and Doug Stanhope. He was the one. His name's Dane, and he put me onto that. And when I found Bill Hicks and George Carlin, through those, I found Doug Stanhope of my own accord, and that really struck a chord with me. His, what I consider best special, No Refunds, really like changed my view on what comedy could be.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time I really heard. Because I heard George Carlin and Bill Hicks talk about like serious political issues. That was the first time I heard it done.
Carlin was really smart.
Yeah, no. But my issue with him is he kind of turned into lecturing after a while. Doug Stanhope made it funny to listen to.
Yeah.
And then I was still in Baton Rouge going to LSU at that time. But I found Doug Stanhope, and then a month later, I moved back down to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking him up, and turned out he had a show in New Orleans soon. So I was like, oh, I just became a fan of this dude. I'll go see him. And I went to go see him.
You got to see Doug live.
It was an awesome time. He killed it, and I walked out there going, I need to do comedy. Like I want
what's
to do
up.
it at least once. Ooh, I made it a bucket list item.
Hell
'Cause
yeah.
I had stage fright.
How old were you?
I was 22. I was 22, and just a college dropout with no direction, and just kind of thinking like, what am I gonna do? And taking time to explore myself and who I am, and finding out interests. And then I saw Doug Stanhope, and I was like, I kind of want to try comedy at least once, like just get that out the way because I'm interested.
Yeah.
So I started exploring the scene. Went to some improv places. I think you know what I'm talking about. Where I'm talking about.
Not Brown. Oh. Okay.
The new movement. Yeah.
The new movement. All right.
I went there before their issue with the scene happened, and
Yeah.
then I started going to mics and meeting comedians, and was like, no, I'm gonna go straight to mics. Then I came around the scene for about a month or two. Started writing during that whole time,
Yeah.
and then when it was time for me to do it, I didn't even choose. Actually, Chris Lane, when he was hosting Siberia at the time, which is now Carnival. When
I
he
used
was
to
hosting,
love that one.
I used to go there every week because it was like kind of my favorite show. They had burlesque and comedy. And it was
Yeah,
awesome.
it was fire. A little one of those tassels might fly off. You get a titty flying around for real. The girl don't give a fuck. Titty just going.
Bro, sidebar.
She's like, bitch, I want my tip. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sidebar on that. One of the craziest shit I've seen was at Siberia, which is it was a drag like burlesque thing. There was a guy doing it,
Okay.
and he was doing phenomenal. It was awesome. And then he pulled out a bag of hot Cheeto puffs, busted them open on his chest.
Oh, my God.
Picked up one on the floor, put one between his ass crack, faced the crowd, flicked it out, and it landed in someone's drink. And everybody went fucking nuts. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
what?
I bet they did, bro. That's some wild shit.
But yeah, it was.
You see some wild shit at Siberia, bro.
Yeah, no, it was wild. It was pretty crazy. Actually, I'm just realizing what he was offering me. Actually, I will take those. Sorry to interrupt.
What's up, buddy?
I will take those.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
If your people are watching me, you'll see me fumble with these headphones. You see this bun on my head. Like, I did this to myself. So I'm going to make this a little more comfortable for myself in a second.
Hey, we're back. Got some new headphones for AJ.
And yeah, I went to Siberia, and after the guy did all that, it was the wildest shit I've ever seen. But
Hot Cheeto between the butt cheek in a drink. That's like the best. That's like the best alley-oop dunk shot ever.
I lost my fucking mind. Like, but later when they bring comedy back, Chris Lane walks up to me and just goes, "You're next," and just walks away and disappears into the crowd. And I'm like freaking out, like, what?
That's what's up.
And I have stuff written. I told him I had stuff written, but I wasn't planning to go up. But he did it, and I was the last person. So I get up there, and it's Halloween. Everybody's dressed in all these weird dresses, and I wasn't planning to go up, so I'm high as fuck. I'm drunk as fuck. So I get up there, and that's the first thing I say. I'm high as fuck. I'm drunk as fuck. And I make a joke about, you guys ever take a shit so big you question your sexuality? That was the first thing out of my mouth.
No shit. I've heard that joke. No shit.
And it got a nice response, and I think I did pretty well for my first time, which is like what kind of got me addicted.
Nice.
But like you said, once I bombed my first time, it humbles you. You get some
humbles the
respect for
shit
that
out
stage.
you.
It was at Hi-Ho too.
Yeah, that stage right there is a beast. You got to know how to handle that room if you go in that
I
room.
underestimated it because for like a month or two, I was killing it. Like
Yeah.
every time I showed up at Hi-Ho, murder.
Dude, I fucking used to love Siberia too, though, bro.
Yeah.
Carnival. It was. We used to get whole crowds of people from like fucking Europe there, because they used to promote through this fucking hostel. We had a hostel in New Orleans that people from Europe would go to, and they used to promote that show at the hostel. And I remember just like late nights, just people from England, dude, people from fucking Ireland, people from Australia, just full rooms of them. And it was just the fucking, I used to bomb so hard in front of them. But it was like the greatest fucking experience to be able to do it. You know,
It really was. Like,
and like if I get them now, I'm gonna get them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If those crowds, like, let's go on the fucking road in Europe, dog. I get there. I got some shit for her. Fuck it.
I would love to go on tour in Europe.
Hell yeah.
But I kind of wish I would have started at Hi-Ho because after I started doing comedy, and like I would go to mics, and I would do well. Like I kind of got people noticed me very early on because I came in with such like passion. My jokes weren't that good, but I came in with such passion that the audience were always laughing. I had such a presence on stage.
That's what's up. See, I had a presence on stage, but it wasn't a positive one.
Yeah.
It was.
Same.
It
was
wasn't
same.
positive at all. Like, they did not like me. I did.
Bro, I just had energy, and that's what got me through most of the time.
Yeah.
Because I was saying shit like, shitty men are women's fault because you keep fucking them. And I said that shit at 12 Mile.
Yeah, that 12 Miles the place, too. I'm screaming at fucking old women like, I'll eat your pussy if you was younger, 20 years younger, and I'm 20 years older. They call us thunder and lightning, baby. I'll fucking eat that pussy, rock that room, and
I remember that joke.
dog. Half of the room is like crying, laughing because of such an idiot I am, and the other is like fucking pissed off. You know what I mean? Just mad. Like, hey, I'm here, bitch. Do cum jokes in 12 Mile Limit, and everybody's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, bro. I did an abortion joke where I physically acted out ripping out a fetus and then kicking it. And every single time after I kicked it, it was just silence, and I would just be sitting there like, "That was funny to me." You guys don't find ripping babies out of uteruses and punching them funny?
Yeah, 12
No
Mile.
taste.
That was a room that you had to go up in there with certain material.
No, you just had to be a better writer, honestly, because
True.
a lot of
True.
places let that, like, just by virtue of it being offensive, they let it slide and would laugh.
Right.
But 12 Mile, actually, like, you had to write something that was good. Because
Yeah.
they didn't mind raunchy
They would
humor.
get offensive. I had one dude get up and just like point his finger at me, and I was like, "What's up, dude?" And he was just like, I was like, It's just a cum joke, buddy. So if you can talk to me after this, I'm actually a good person. I'm a good person. You don't have to like be stunned at my cum joke.
He just pointed at you.
He had no words. He was just like. I was like, I hit a nerve there, didn't I, buddy? Yeah.
He couldn't even formulate words. He was
He
literally
couldn't.
speechless.
He was speechless, dude. It was great.
You know what that reminds me of? Like the fucking monkey from Family Guy that used to bust out the class and just go.
out the closet. Yeah, bust out the closet. That's how mad he was, bro. He was pissed off at my cum joke.
Oh my god.
My cum ice cream joke. It was great.
I had one guy. I was at Lucky's one time, and I had one guy that was. I wasn't doing bad. People were laughing, but for some reason he just didn't like me and was like, "You are bad at comedy." And I'm like, "What?" And I was about to go in on him, but then I looked a little closer. It looked like he was on drugs.
Yeah.
I was like,
Lucky's, bro. Lucky's. I cut my teeth in Lucky's, dude. I learned.
Lucky's was that mic. That was the hardest mic in the city.
Yeah, it was, dude. I learned how to write room jokes in Lucky's. Like you had to learn. I learned how to take my energy and grab the room. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I got great energy, but I never knew how to utilize it until one night in Lucky's. Mm. I don't know if you were there, bro. A dude goes up with a fucking. A dude goes up with a what are those fucking things called? They're like they fly and shit.
Drone?
A drone.
What?
Dude brings a drone in Lucky's, dude. And this is why I don't fucking even know the name of it, because I just take drones and put them out my head because of this whole situation. He puts the drone down in the middle of the bar, gets on stage and starts flying the drone. He's like, "Look at me, I'm doing comedy and flying a drone at the same time." And we're like, what the fuck is going on in this place? You know what I mean? Like, this is the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my life. And, like, I was getting up and two people later, and everybody was just doing horrible. I get up there and just go, well, I don't know about y'all, but after tonight, I'm never purchasing a drone. And the room explodes, like, bow. And I just fucking went. It was like one of the best sets to this day I've ever had in my life, dude.
We have the same experience in comedy. Because the first time I did Lucky's was probably the best set I've ever had.
This wasn't my first time.
Oh, okay.
No.
The first time I did Lucky's.
I did a bunch of bombing in Lucky's. Bunch of bombing.
Every stage I went on to for the first time was the most energetic I've ever been on stage. Like, since I've started,
yeah,
I had the most passion. I had ice in my veins, literally.
Yeah.
So I got on stage at Lucky's, and nobody was paying attention. I couldn't even hear myself. And I just started yelling at these motherfuckers. And I was like, I don't give a fuck if you pay attention to me, but if you do, you're going to hear some crazy shit. And I started going in. I started off with my took a shit so big joke. And then I went into the baby abortion joke, and by then they were already on my side. So whatever I was saying was funny.
Right.
But it was just pure energy. It wasn't actual good jokes, but I was able to captivate them with the energy. And Dante, I think to this day, he still remembers me on that set because I've never done that well at Lucky's or a lot of other places since.
Certain sets, bro, it gives you that little boost to keep going too. Like, yeah, that room helped me a lot, bro. Certain rooms, that's what I love about Louisiana. Our rooms that we create, they touch in certain different areas and help you get ready for everything, dude. Every room's different, and we learn if you know how to utilize your room and learn how to read those rooms, it helps you, like, when you leave Louisiana, see how good you actually are. You know what I mean? Like, you step into situations in other states, and you're like, all right, I know what to do in this situation because of this fucking show I did in Louisiana.
Exactly.
You know, and that's what getting ready in the dark, you know, is all about, you know.
Oh, yeah, no. Honestly, New Orleans is the best thing to be in for growth.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to grow as a comedian,
and we get real crowds from other states. We're a tourist city, you know, and it's important.
We get a mixed bag of everybody. So there's a bunch of different sensibilities in the crowd. And, you know, walking that line of what hits the most with everybody. You know, when you have such a diverse crowd, it's easy to have, you know, a one mindset crowd because I'm living in New England right now, even though I'm from here. But they have a particular style of comedy they like up there.
Yeah. And
it's good. Like, people who master it, they get really good at it. It is very funny. But New Orleans, every style of comedy is kind of appreciated. But you have to figure out where it's appreciated, who appreciates it, and reading your audience every time to figure out
Yeah, I agree with that. We do. We have, our comics are all different here. Yeah. And that's what I really love about our scene, bro. We all have a different thing to us. Mm-hmm. And we basically just hone who we are here. We're given that freedom to hone who we are on stage. You know what I'm saying? And find that funny about myself. And everybody has that same freedom in Louisiana. That's what I like about our scene. You can't unless you're doing shit that's too crazy. You know what I mean? Like I'll step in and be like, "Hey, buddy, tone it down on the Nazi joke because you don't know how to fucking present that shit." You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know,
Well, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't open with rape, bro.
yeah, exactly. You know, let's keep the cunt jokes at a minimum.
Yeah.
You know, until you learn how to like cut your fucking voice and your.
The most frustrating thing is like, because when a lot of people start, I've had multiple people start, and they'll do their first set, and they'll be like, "How did I do?" And it's
Yeah.
like, bro, keep working.
It's
You'll
like
get
keep
better.
coming back, buddy.
Yeah, you'll
Keep
get better. And
coming
they
back.
recognize like, yeah, I got work to do.
Yeah.
But every now and then you get that motherfucker who starts, and it's like, yo, you saw that shit I killed, and it's like, bro, you got half a chuckle.
Yeah.
But they think making that one person laugh,
Yeah.
like, is people don't pay attention to the. There's other factors for
Small
laughter.
things.
It's like you have to pay attention to the frequency of your laughter. You have to pay attention to the volume of your laughter and the range, how many people are laughing.
Yeah.
So are you getting 2 people chuckling or are you getting the entire room to fucking guffaw out of their
Right.
seat? Pay attention to the quality of your laughter. That'll tell you what your joke is worth.
Right.
And a lot of people don't. They hear a couple chuckles and they go, oh, it's funny.
Right.
Because 2 people chuckled. No, bro.
Right, and that's what I try to consist. My set consists of like nothing lower than like a B grade laugh, and I don't like that. I like more A grade laughs, A plus to A grade laughs.
And that's what everybody should be striving for.
Yeah,
Like, straight up, if most of the room isn't fucking falling under their seat at my joke,
you gotta work on it.
you got to work on it.
Mhm.
I have to work on it. Like, if I don't have the whole room just busting a gut,
Right,
I'm working on that joke. I'm still going to keep telling it until it gets to the point where I find a punchline that makes it something that everybody appreciates in
Yeah.
a hard way, or I put it to the side and keep writing until I can come back to it and use the skills I've gained from my experience to make it a better joke.
yeah. Sometimes that works too. Like I have jokes, plenty of jokes where I'll put them bitches down because it's not fully there, and then like 3, 4, 5 months later, all of a sudden I got something to put with it.
Yeah.
You know.
I've never thrown away a joke. Like, every joke I've ever written, I put to the side, even if I thought it wasn't funny.
Yeah, you
Some of
definitely.
my best jokes are jokes that I didn't think were ever going anywhere.
Right.
And they're my best jokes now. And it's a surprise to me because when I went back and was just 2 sentences is all I had to add, just 2 of the right sentences. I just
Yeah.
had to think of it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I was just able to add a couple words, and that made the joke. That made the joke.
Right, and that's what it is about writing with comedy. Every word counts. Sometimes you got to take a word out or put that word in a different spot or put in 1 or 2 more words, and it makes the whole fucking
It
joke
makes the
pop.
whole thing happen, yeah.
It's amazing. Or it's amazing that I get to fucking see that actually happen in real time too, because everybody people come to a show and they'll see a set, you know what I'm saying, and then but they don't really see the 1 or 2 little tweaks I put on it, just to make you get that extra ha ha
Right.
in your voice, that extra elevation of pop that everybody gives me on that, you know, and that's what I really like about the process.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
that is a fun process. I remember at my peak, the process when I respected it the most was when I was on stage at Dragon's Den for the open mic that Jeff Gaucher and Ted Orphan used to host.
I used to love that mic.
Yeah, it was a good one. But I had this joke where it was a story about how I got into a fight with a baby because he looked
Okay.
at me weird and then did like this motion, which is like bitch ass nigga, like sizing you up.
I remember the joke.
And then I like knocked him over, stomped his head in, poured some soup in his caved in skull and served it to the dad. And they'd be like, yeah, guys, I got fired. That was the punchline. I got fired. And people would like kind of chuckle at it. It was a pretty funny joke.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I was at Dragon's Den and I was on stage and I told it. And I didn't even write this down beforehand. The minute after I said I got fired, something popped into my head. Something just clicked. And I said, I got fired for giving away free soup. And that made the joke.
That's
Like, because I
what's up.
stomped the baby's head and was like, sorry, sir, I apologize for stomping your baby's head, and here's some soup. Pick up the baby, pour the soup in the skull, give it to him.
Yeah,
And then get fired. And people assume when I say get fired for the baby
the
thing.
baby.
But then I just,
Throw
in that
him
moment,
off.
in that moment, I said, for giving away the free soup, and everybody just fucking died. That was my first applause break.
Nice.
That was my first applause break.
Nice. Applause breaks are cool. That was your
There's
first
nothing
one?
like it. That was my first. I remember it. That was my first one.
My Robert De Niro got me my first one.
Bruh, that is such a good joke.
Yeah,
That is your
it's great.
impression is so good.
I like
That is such a good
impressions.
one.
I
That
do
is
like
such a
my.
good one.
I don't know if you've seen. Yeah, we probably seen my impressions. I need to add on one or two more, and my impression circle will be complete. You know.
I think one of my. I haven't heard obviously your recent material, but my favorite joke of yours is still the felon.
Don't say it.
I'm
Don't
not
say
saying
it. Don't say the joke.
you know what it is.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, no, that joke is a staple of mine. Yeah, everybody knows that shit. That joke,
Listen,
a joke has a 99% rating on working. People laugh at that motherfucker, even if they heard it before.
Yeah.
You know.
Listen, if y'all listen to this, y'all ever in New Orleans, come check out Pickle at another bar. He might tell that joke, he might not, but come
Yeah.
check it out because that's a fire ass joke. Like,
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's short, sweet, and boom. It's
Yeah,
nice.
that's what, and when I wrote that, that's when I really started learning how to write fucking like get to the point punchlines.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Those get to the point punchlines, those motherfuckers are the shit.
Yeah.
I learned how to fucking make people laugh quick and keep them laughing. You know, that's when it started really getting fun.
Yeah, no, that's also another skill in comedy that people don't embrace is cutting. Like, cutting
Yeah.
your jokes. Because I would write jokes that were 5 minutes on paper, but with 45 seconds on stage.
Right. See, my thing is like I do writing in my head first now. I'll write it in my head, then I'll go say it on stage, record that shit, and then go write it on paper.
That's an interesting process.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's easier for me to cut down the words.
Right.
All right, because I hear it. I hear what they didn't laugh. I hear what I said something too much, or I said one word too much. You know what I'm saying? Cut that shit out and then go back and do the joke again.
Yeah, no, that's...
Because I used to do that. I used to write fucking 4 pages, and it'll be this part, and this part is all I need.
Right.
You know, and I guess from getting on stage every night, that muscle worked to the point where I can fucking just get on stage and be funny about something, and it doesn't. I'm not that all the time. You know, last night I was talking about my baby, and I'm looking for the angle with my child now, and it just wasn't funny up top, or I don't know if it was the crowd or whatnot, because this shit killed the night before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And that's a funny thing, too. Where it's like you can tell the same joke the exact same way, the exact same, timing, the exact same, presence,
Yeah.
and people just won't take it.
It's
And
weird.
There's
It's,
some comedy
it's the
moments you
audience
just can't learn
sometimes.
from. Yeah, sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is the audience,
But
They're looking for something specific. It's like, bro, we had an open mic. I'm not trying to give you my fucking set.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know
not
what I
trying to give
mean?
you my A game.
Yeah, you want to fucking see my A game? Buy a ticket. Buy a ticket.
Exactly.
Buy a ticket, and you'll see our A games.
Pay me, bro.
Pay me, bro.
But I'm here to try something out. But even if I try the same thing, I've had the same joke work and kill 1 week at High Hope and then bomb the next week. And it's like, there's some things you just can't account for. I did everything perfectly. And I know
Yeah.
this joke works. What the fuck is that factor, that X factor? And you get better at honing in on it. Where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, my timing was off because I told a different joke beforehand.
Yeah.
And that didn't lead into it as smoothly. Or just the context of the situation. Because people forget, when you're on stage, you're in a specific context.
Right.
Like, the context of that room is never going to exist for you again.
Right.
So, like, some jokes may only work in that specific context that you're in right now.
Right. That's true.
And
Read
then
the
when
room.
Yeah, and you gotta read the room.
Gotta read that room.
Are
everything.
they feeling this type of joke tonight?
Yeah.
Maybe not, because you got a different crowd. Even if it's the same place, you got a different crowd, especially in New Orleans, because it's a tourist city.
That's why I don't get about some comics don't sit in the room and hear what's going on
And watch other comics.
and watch other comics, and that's how you really tell what you should do in that room that night. A lot of times I don't know what I'm gonna say. Like, I know what I'm gonna say, but I won't know exactly what I'm gonna say until I step on that stage. Like literally a minute before I get on stage, I'm like, all right, this is what I'm gonna lead into with this, and this. And the beginning is always like a different for me. It's like different. I always try to do a room joke if I can. Attach those motherfuckers and take them on a ride.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way to do it, because that's how I approach it too. Where it was like, if I'm doing a mic, I will try to open with a
Excuse
joke
me.
that addresses the context of the room.
Yeah.
Or it's like, if I'm going up on stage after a bunch of people before me have bombed, and the audience is still there, but not kind of feeling comedy. Like people have been walked a little bit.
Yeah.
The audience is diminished, but there's still people there, and they've just experienced a streak of bomb.
Yeah.
The first thing I do when I get on stage is go, "How you guys doing?" And usually that gets no response.
Yeah.
After which I go, "Yeah, me too. I've been here the whole time."
Yeah.
I kind of recognize what's going on.
Yeah.
I kind of like let them know, like, look, I was here. I've seen what's going on. I'm not just about to go into jokes. Like,
Right.
let's recognize what happened in the room.
I had to do that a couple times last night.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
But that's how I sort of ease my nerves when, it's a dead room and you're still going up. Where it's like, look, I'm not about to not acknowledge that everybody just bombed.
Right.
Or I'll just get up there and just go, "Hey guys, what's up? My name's AJ. It's my turn to bomb," and people just like, "Hey."
See, that's good. That's
And
good.
I actually have material about bombing, so it's like my favorite thing about bombing, and I'll go into it, and then that'll get them like going because it's like I'm already admitting that, look, I'm gonna be shitty, but this is what I like about bombing because they've already seen it,
Right.
with all these people. My favorite thing about bombing is going, what's next?" And they'll laugh because they remember 6, 7 comics going, "All right, what's next?" And looking
I
at
like
the
to
notes
go
and
up
shit
there
like that.
and start telling them, like, my favorite thing about comedy is watching comics sweat. You know what I mean? Watching them bomb. And they'll be like, "Yeah, it is fun." It's great, bro. You got anything you want to plug, promote?
The New Orleans comedy scene is a thing.
New Orleans comedy scene, baby.
Bro, if you're listening to this, come down. Come down and see this scene because there's really something special brewing down here. And this
It
man
really
here
is.
is trying to bring it to light with
Thank
this
you.
specifically. So if you're tuned in, continue to tune in and come down to New Orleans and check out comedy if you ever have the opportunity and really support these people because they're making it happen. People like Pickle, people like Marcus, people like Red Bean,
Yeah.
people like Shep Kelly and Isaac and DC.
Yeah.
And you all are going to see them. So if you ever have a chance to, and you like comedy, there's an underground scene here festering and building that people aren't privy to. So if you're watching this and hearing this, this is the only hint you're going to get. So come down.
Come check us out, man. We the underground about to come to light.
For sure.
My
for
boy
sure.
AJ Bell. Where can they follow you?
A.J.Bell OL, A.J.B.E.L.L.O.L. on everything.
Go follow him on
Including OnlyFans.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything, y'all. Everything. Go check him out. Very funny dude. You can follow me at Pickle House 504 on Instagram.
Follow Pickle.
And
Please,
check
go.
out, like, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and like, you guys. This has been Pickles House, y'all. Thank you, AJ, for coming in, brother. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate being here. And thank anybody who's listening. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Have a good, safe trip back to Boston, man.
Pickles House.
All right, y'all. Have a good one. Later.